Those are the points that we will be looking forward to from the company itself. We have an expert joining us.
Yes, we
Siddharth Purohit of Angel Broking is with us. Siddharth, first reactions?
Yeah, the reported number looks definitely decent than what I was expecting, and very surprising is that the gross NPA number has not gone up, and both in absolute term and in as a percentage also. So what I believe is that possibly there could have been there could have been some sell to ARC or maybe some upgradation, which we need to really check. Otherwise, going by the trend, it is very unlikely that there won't be slippages from the watch list.
Siddharth, just wanted to ask you about this technicality. If you could explain this better to us. The gross NPA is up 3.7% on an absolute basis, but the net NPA has risen 16%.
Well, they've provided less. That's very clear. PCR has fallen from 61% to 57%.
But would that also indicate lesser recoveries?
No. You have provided less, then your net NPAs will rise obviously more than the gross NPAs. If you had provided aggressively, then your net NPA would have fallen even faster than. So they've chosen to provide less. But actually they had floating provisions. If you remember last time, they made an extra provisioning of 3,000 odd crore. In any case, your call on all this, Siddharth. The provision coverage has fallen to 57%. Would you think that is the only reason why the net NPA has risen?
Actually, before taking a further call, what I would like to tell you, Lata, is that let us listen that, what are the actual slippages from the watch list, what they had given, and whether these slippages, as we, already have seen that there has been no sharp increase in gross NPA, but on what basis, whether this is because of your only upgradation recovery, sell to ARC, or really there has not been recognition of NPA from the stress book. If that has not happened, then possibly, one should know that, whether there has been some upgradation within that also. That is a big point to know. If that happens, then definitely.
I completely agree with you. Nowadays, the P&L will not help us much in knowing the state of the asset book. We have to wait for the slippage number, but we are just trying to get your reaction from what is at the moment available. Siddharth, do stay on. We should be getting the margins and other details in a bit. Hemendra Hazari has also joined us. Hemendra, I don't know if you heard all the numbers. What are your first thoughts? The profit has come in better than expectation at 2,332 crores. But on the issue of asset quality, we have only limited information. 5.87%, and as a gross number, we have 27,500 compared to 26,200 last quarter. Your thoughts?
Let us see how they have increased the net profit over the expectations. If you'll see that the net interest income is lower than what the market was expecting. The other income is higher than what the market was expecting. And the coverage ratio has declined. So it is very clear that this ICICI Bank wanted to slightly outperform the consensus estimates on net profits. And this is the way they have done so. They have booked higher other income. They have lowered the provisioning cover. And hey, presto, you've outperformed the analyst consensus on net profit.
Well, I doubt this is a trick that will not be seen through. I think nowadays everyone on the street for banks are not even looking at the profit number. If the profit number were 1 rupee, nobody would bother, but they would be seriously bothered about the asset quality. So this green tick on the profit number is not really something I would assume bank managements will be too much worried about. I guess now we have to worry about the slippage number before anything else, Hemendra?
No, most definitely. And let me tell you this, that even the gross NPAs that they are showing, I don't think any analyst will really take it at face value. Because everyone knows that there's this huge watch list which is outstanding there. And it's just a moment of time before it's going to start deteriorating.
Well, I think we've got some number on the sale of assets to ARCs. Or I think it's more an accounting number. In accordance with the RBI circular on prudential norms on income recognition, spread over, and provisioning pertaining to advances spread over.
They have written the
banks are permitted to spread over any shortfall.
Maybe number 7.
The bank has during the 3 quarters sold NPAs to. No, they're telling you. The bank has during the 3 months ended June 30 sold NPAs to ARCs, and the gross shortfall amounting to 500 crore. So the loss they suffered because of sale to ARCs is 526 crore, and that will be amortized. So they have not told us how much they have sold. They've told you the shortfall on account of the sale. The shortfall on account of the sale is 526 crore. But we will have to still wait to hear the actual sale to ARCs.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to actually pose that question to one of the analysts. We have Bajrang Bafna of Sunidhi Securities joining in. Bajrang, I know this is a hypothetical question at this point in time, but this is a whisper number doing the rounds of around 5,000 crores in terms of sales to asset reconstruction companies. If in case that is true of ICICI Bank this quarter, how would you treat it? Would it be read as a positive, negative?
That actually depends, at what, haircut they have sold the asset to the ARC. So
it is, okay. It may be 500 crores because that is what they have recognized as shortfall on account of sale to ARC. But let me reiterate again.
Provided,
we don't know what is we don't know how much was sold to ARCs. What we heard on the street was it would be 5,000 crore, in which case the GNPA actually is not 27,500 but 32,500 as Ekta put it. So if that is the number you're staring at, what is your comment, Bajrang?
Again, Lata, it all depends at what price they have sold it to ARC. If they have booked, let's say 500 crore or maybe some amount of loss, I don't think it will be treated as very much negative because, it strengthens the balance sheet per se because they can grow the balance sheet, to that extent. So I don't think it is much of a negative.
In terms of commentary, what else are you looking for? In terms of the top three things?
Slippages number is the most important because you see the last 2 quarters run rate is around 7,000 crores and the past run rate was roughly 2,500 crores. So we are more, concerned that what will be the slippage rate. Though the book they have disclosed around 44,000 crores, but it doesn't appear, the trend is going to go in this quarter. Barring, if this 5,000 crore number is true, the sale to ARC, then probably they might be maintaining the similar slippages rate of around 7 to 7,500 crore, which was the truth in last 2 quarters.
Okay, actually their higher other income also should have been anticipated by analysts, isn't it? Because it was known that they sold off their stake in...
but that was last quarter.
No. Lata, I don't think there is any anomaly in the other income. I think I was also expecting 3,400 crore number.
Of other income.
It is more or less in line with all other numbers are more or less in line.
And what would you account the other income for? Would it have been largely fees and
the CD,
LC fees, guarantees and such stuff?
Yeah,
or would there be some sale of securities?
No, I don't think. I was expecting the core income of around fees and all is 2,400 crores and roughly treasury is 400 crores and others with the earlier run rate of around 700 crores. So that
so there is no abnormality in the
No. I don't think there is any abnormality. And NII is more or less in line. I was expecting 5,200 crores.
Okay.
So they have given the same. But if you see in the balance sheet, it is clearly there that the deposits have gone up roughly 3,000 crore quarter on quarter. But the have gone up 15,000 crore quarter on quarter. So definitely it will help some amount of NIM. Last quarter they reported a NIM of 3.37% and they guided that the NIM because of this all, a lot of reversals and the problem of GNPAs and all, it will come down by 20 basis. But I don't think, the NIM has come down by 20 basis in this quarter considering,
the whisper number was that it would be 10 basis point lower at around 3.27, 3.29.
Yeah.
Okay,
so better than the
one more note in the notes to accounts, Lata, something that you had mentioned as well, where there's a provision of around 3,600 crores which they had made as of last financial year. During the 3 months ended this quarter, the bank has utilized an amount of 865.4 crores from the collective contingency and related reserve this quarter as well.
Okay. So I guess they want to use it equally in the 4 quarters, which is why out of 3,600 crores, they've taken 1/4 almost. 900 crores would have been exactly 1/4. So they've used that to provide for. But nevertheless, the provision coverage normally goes down when you generate a lot of fresh NPAs because for the fresh NPAs, you don't provide 70%. You're required mandatorily to provide only 25% and good banks will provide perhaps 50%. In any case, your overall provision cover will come down if you have freshly generated NPAs. That should have been expected. Siddharth, I also wanted to ask you about whether the bank is generally de-risking itself. As Bajrang pointed out, their deposit base has increased, but their current and savings account is now standing at 40 5%, I think. The average CASA ratio was 41.7 compared to 40.5. Okay, it was 41.7. And their retail share of the loans has increased to 46%. Is that some bit of a diversification and safety valve?
I think the retail loans was already at 46% in the last quarter, the Q4.
Okay.
And if you look at the CASA also, I mean, it was more or less, I mean, not a significant
Only
change.
about 50
so
basis points.
I don't think that, there would be material change on that front. And as far as the business growth is concerned, I mean, it was really not a big concern for them. As long as they are able to push the retail credit. But the real trouble is in the the domestic corporate side. If they are able to resolve some part of the bigger troubled accounts, then only they should think about expanding aggressively on that. Otherwise, without resolving the troubled assets, I mean, there is no point getting into aggressive mode of expansion. So that will unnecessarily put stress on the balance sheet. So I think we need to first listen that how far the resolution for the stress account has happened during the quarter, whether there has been more of upgradation recovery. Like if you just observe some of the PSU banks, like PNB also has some sharp recovery. So I think it is time that even private banks should go ahead and look for higher upgradation and recovery. If that is happening, then possibly we can say that there is a change in the trend for the entire industry.
That's true.
So what is the overall comment, Siddharth?
I think we need to listen to the management and further take a call. As of now, the numbers looks mixed back. While the bottom line number is somewhat little higher than expected, but seems because of little lower provisions what we expected and little higher other income backed by possibly from trading gains.
Well, they have a lower tax outflow this quarter, which has supported their bottom line even further. If you look at it, their PBT was 2,700 crores and the outflow this time for taxes is 467, which compares to around 1,100 crores on a year-on-year basis. So they've been benefited because of a lower tax outflow as well. But Siddharth, in terms of valuations, currently at around 1.5 times is where it's at. Do you see it possibly stabilizing at these valuations, or maybe what the range would be?
See, in terms of valuations, it is really not expensive as far as absolute valuation is concerned. And looking that that they are going for a divesting stake in their insurance business, so actual value unlocking will happen. Now we have seen transactions happening in the insurance business, but the true value will reflect once it gets listed. So I don't see there is much of downside in terms of valuation. It is seems now decently valued. But if more clarity comes in terms of balance sheet strength, then there is a case for further re-rating.
Okay. So but at the moment, is it a buy for you or a hold for you? What is the
till last quarter we had an accumulated rating and it is trading slightly above our target price. So before where it was 254 was our target price. So already it is trading above our target price. So before revising our further target price, we would like to hear, on the guidance side, and possibly I believe that there should be no chance for upgradation in terms of earnings if the slippages have not been really as high as expected. Because one thing that I wanted to clarify, that the watch list doesn't mean that those are all NPAs. So there would have been a lot of resolutions which is possible. Yeah. So let us hear that, and possibly there could be upside.
Yeah. I agree with you that we have to hear the management commentary and the granularity on the watch list, as well as any possible sale to ARC before I guess you all can make up your mind. The CASA is at 45.1 current and savings account, which is less than the 45.8 in the previous quarter. So the percentage of the book of the deposits that is cheap has declined a bit. And the rest of the numbers remain more or less the same. That is in terms of the asset book, 46%, as Siddharth also was pointing out. Hemendra, we have to hold out our opinion, I guess, till the slippages and watch list and other commentary of the management is out. But as of now, any comments further on the numbers?
Normally, analysts have to take a view regardless of what the commentary is, because we also know what the overall state of the economy and of a lot of this corporate book is. I would just like to point out that there are numerous accounts outside the watch list, especially the SME accounts, where typically each account will be about 100 crores. Now, these accounts are under acute stress, and they will be not in any bank's NPA, nor any bank's watch list, because that's not where the attention is. But their attention is going to be focused on these in a quarter or 2 quarters to come. So there is this still mountain of bad debt which is going to hit ICICI Bank and all the other banks. So this idea, let us focus only on the watch list and how much slippages come from the watch list. All I would like to say is we're looking at a very, very small universe then.
Okay, well, it's a small universe in terms of number of accounts, but in terms of value, they are fairly giant. But I take your point that we still don't have any data across banks, not just ICICI, on the extent of exposure to SME and MSME and the extent of pain over there. Okay, finally, to wind this up, Bajrang, your comment in terms of price target, rating?
Actually, till last quarter, again, I was also having the outperform rating on the stock with a target price of 264. But again, we have to see that what the management talks about, the overall asset quality and the NIM per se going forward. So broadly, I believe, I also indicated that the stock is going to be range bound at least for a year or so between, the lower end could be 200 to 220 and maybe on the higher side, maybe we could see 300 if everything goes right with the bank. So I don't see that, the trend changing till the time, this entire mess of this 44,000 crore, gets cleared over next 12 to 18 months. So I think the stock is going to be range bound in that period. And Lata, one more thing I want to highlight, on the sale to ARCs, they've clearly written the gross shortfall is 500.
Exactly.
Or 500. It's not a net shortfall. So out of that, 1/4 they have provided in this quarter. Yes. So whatever amount they have sold at a loss of just 500 crore. Yeah. So if the number is 5,000 crore, I think it is damn positive for this stock.
Oh,
okay. So, yeah. So
I don't think the gross sale is 500 crore. The gross shortfall is 500.
So that's what I'm saying. If it's a 5,000 crore, then if they've sold at 500 crore,
4,500 crore.
Yeah, so it's a good decent number, but it's hardly a reality.
Yeah.
So let's see, what the.
No, but in that case, if the overall sale to ARC is not such a big problem, then the GNPA number is a good one. At 27,500.
Yeah, so if we go by that number, let's say 7,000 crore is the slippages and 5,000 they have sold to ARC. So more or less then the math matches.
Okay.
Mostly the math matches.
But then
that's why the GNP has not gone up.
Is there a fear, Bajrang, that they've sold sold to ARCs this quarter, which is worth around 5,000 odd crores, but that gives you a little bit of fear that maybe they might not be able to replicate it in all of the quarters going forward, and hence we are going to see an unsustainability or a volatility or a spike up in gross NPLs in the coming quarters. Is that the fear that sort of sets in despite the shortfall of only 500 crores?
No, I only pointed out that at what price they have sold to ARC. So if they have sold at a loss of just 10%, it is not bad. It's not bad per se, because in first year, if one account turns NPA, you have to provide at least 20 to 25% as a provision. So in that sense, it is positive, but that rarely happens. So we have to just watch. And anyway, last year the overall slippages was roughly 16,000 crore, 17,000 crore odd. So this year again going by this 44,000 crore which is under watch list, even if we assume 50% falls into the NPA category, that is roughly 20 to 23,000 crore number.
Yes.
And all of the analysts are anyway must have built in 12 to 13,000 crore kind of slippages for next 2 years, each year. So I don't think, if they report 5 to 6,000 crore of slippages in this quarter will be construed negative. We all are working with that kind of number.
No, 5 to 6,000 crore will not be a problem. It will. I guess the problem will only be if it is much more than that.
Yeah, and they said that it will be front-ended. That's again the management has
So what is a level up to which you are okay in terms of slippages?
I believe 5 to 6,000 crore. That's what I indicated. I am comfortable. At least since they have indicated front-ended, so which clearly means that next 2 quarters are going to be heavy in terms of.
The whisper number on the street was 8,100. You have. Will that be a shocker?
Not much. Again, it depends on the commentary. If they say that they have front-ended and front-loaded the slippages, I think that would be construed positive for the stock.
All right. Siddharth, you wanted to comment on that? If it is an 8,000 crore slippage number, 8,100 crore, would you consider that bad?
I think it's time that actually we should wait for final outcomes.
No, you have a point. We are not here to discuss whisper numbers. Yes, okay. We'll allow you to reserve your judgment and we should reserve ours. If it is indeed a 26,000 crore, 27,000 crore GNPA, then it's not a bad number at all. And the bank has managed to show some growth, like he pointed out, 11,000 crore growth quarter on quarter, and a 17% growth year on year in advances, 46% growth in advances. So they are trying to grow out of the problem as well. It can't be a great deal under such circumstances, but still there is 11% growth is much better than so many banks which have actually contracted their balance sheets. They've grown both quarter on quarter and year on year. And growth usually solves at least some problems.
Yes, absolutely. But we are going to hear more from the management, and that's really where we're going to get to know more granular details about the asset quality just 20 to 25 minutes from now. But with that, we're going to head into a very small break, but lots more on the other side, especially more on Larsen & Toubro's numbers as well.